Stand by. And it's all yours, Lydia.
Have you ever asked yourself, when did my life actually begin? At what point did I become the person that I now am? These questions are important for us to consider because the way that each one of us chooses to view the answers will have far-reaching effects on our lives, from public policy to individual and family decisions. I have done extensive research on this issue, and after hearing input from sources such as the journal Human Reproduction Update and the American College of Pediatricians, I hope that you will agree that the first cell resulting from fertilization, called a zygote, is really more than just another cell. Given the fact that there are certain scientific criteria for life, the fact that the human zygote meets these criteria and the fact that the zygote is a distinct organism demonstrate that the immediate product of conception is a living, distinct human being. There are several generally recognized scientific criteria for life. According to Daniel Koshland, Jr., a biochemist at the University of California, and to the American Heritage Medical Dictionary, one of these criteria is the possession of DNA. Another criterion is metabolism, or using energy to fuel the organism's functions. Yet another criterion is the ability to reproduce. And a final criterion is the ability to respond or adapt to the environment. Now let's consider how these criteria apply to the zygote. The human zygote meets the criteria for life. First of all, it contains DNA. Second, according to Sandro Pereira and Associates from the journal Human Reproduction Update, the zygote engages in metabolism, obtaining energy through a chemical called pyruvate. Third, the zygote has the ability to reproduce. Not only does it go through a continual process of cellular reproduction as it grows, but it is in the process of developing its ability to reproduce as an organism. Finally, the zygote responds and adapts to its environment. According to Berg, Timochko, and Stryer in their biochemistry textbook, all cells engage in this behavior. Thus, the zygote must have this ability because it is a cell. Not only is the zygote alive, according to the scientific definition, it is a unique individual. The human zygote is a distinct organism. First of all, the zygote cannot be an extension of its mother's body, a mere clump of cells, as some believe, because it contains its own unique DNA. Kathleen Burns, a professor at the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine, explains that a unique set of DNA is a distinguishing mark between individuals. Since the zygote's DNA is different than its mother's, it cannot be simply an extension of its mother's body, but must be a separate individual. Second, the zygote is just an earlier stage of what we clearly recognize to be a distinct human being, a newborn baby. It simply needs time for its cells to multiply and differentiate, just as the newborn cells must multiply and differentiate in order for it to become an adult. Doctors Patricia Lee June and Fred de Miranda, writing for the American College of Pediatricians, maintain that, quote, the difference between an individual in its adult stage and in its zygotic stage is one of form, not nature, end quote. The human zygote's meeting of the recognized criteria for life and its status as a distinct organism demonstrate that life must begin at the moment of conception. The way in which the zygote's characteristics fit perfectly into the scientific benchmarks for life show us that it is clearly alive, and its separateness as a unique entity demonstrates that it is truly a person, a human being. With such convincing evidence before us, I hope that you agree that each human being is just as much a living person when consisting of a single cell as when operating as a fully grown adult.